It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, it's been a minute.
It
Sorta,
certainly
kinda.
has been a minute, George.
Sort of, kind of, right? Sort of, kind of.
Exactly. All right. But listen, first of all, as you said, it's been a minute. I want to thank everybody for actually telling me that you missed me. I was so surprised and pleased and pleased to hear. Okay, that and I'm starting to get questions like, "Are you really coming back?" And then I heard somebody the other day tell me, "George, I know you're gonna be back," and they gave me the date because George said so. Now, are you gonna come back? Okay. But it was nice to, for the first time in a very long time, to take a little bit of a vacation time and experience the glorious weather and beauty of Central New York in the summer.
Yeah.
I think we sometimes forget what a beautiful area we live in. And so earlier than I got to experience some of that this year, and I'm really grateful for that. So George,
So Vicki,
you know what?
What?
I don't think I've ever seen such a robust news cycle either.
You might say there's a few things that went on this week that were of note, right?
Well, not only this week, for the entire time that I was away, I'm thinking like, I need to go back.
Right.
I need to go back. Okay.
Right, because since you've been gone, we got a new presidential candidate.
Got a new presidential candidate, got an entire, a new vice presidential candidate. Okay, all types of things. 2 conventions happened.
Right.
All types of things happened while I was away. And so, but I said, okay, I'm gonna sit back and relax and just enjoy it. But there has been a lot going on over this summer for sure. The summer of 2024 has to go down in the record books.
Yeah.
But as coming back, I thought, what would be the best thing for me to do coming back to our listening and viewing audience? And I thought, going forward, that we might want to go back and sort of dust off some of the, not only the archives, but some of the concepts that we addressed. Can you believe this, George? Was it 260 episodes ago?
Listen.
So I'm going to spend a lot of time over the next several months actually pulling out some of the basic concepts and taking those concepts and digging deeper. Let's say going to level 2 and level 3. So those of you who have been loyal viewers and listeners for the last 4 or 5 years, get your pencils and paper back out. Get your calculators back out, because we're going to start getting even deeper on some of these concepts. What is it, George?
No, it said get ready to work.
Get ready to work. That's a very good thing to say, get ready to work. So, but before I go any further, I want to make sure that I acknowledge that this week was the anniversary. I don't know if anniversary is the right word, but the remembrance of 9/11.
Yeah.
Okay. September 11th, 2001, 23 years ago. And you talk about time flying and how life has moved forward so quickly. Because for me, and I'm sure for you, especially being a native New Yorker, okay, that whole tragedy of 2011 feels like it was just yesterday.
It does. And Vicki, I wanted to just say, like, this week I actually watched some of, and every year I seem to do this. I watch some of the names remembered when they, call the rolls, and then you hear the last 2 names are the family members, friends, loved ones, spouses of the departed, and just it was very, very emotional. And I remember the day. I knew my mother wasn't anywhere near there, but I was blowing up the phones, and remember the phone, I don't know if it was AT&T, whoever it was at the time, Verizon, or whoever it was, the circuits were overloaded, so you couldn't get to. And my mother that day had gone to the poll. It was election day, if you remember. It was primary day. Excuse me.
Primary,
It was
right.
primary day, and a little bit of quick history. Kate O'Connell and Matt is it Matt
Driscoll.
Driscoll? Yeah, Matt Driscoll were going into a primary for mayor, and they canceled the primary that day. My mother was a poll worker that day. I
Oh,
don't even think she ever did that. So I was going on the air WCNY, and I finally heard from my mother. The show aired 12:30 live. I finally heard from my mother, Vicki, at 12:25. Now I knew she wasn't anywhere near downtown, but I needed to know
where was she?
where was she? Because she lived in the Bronx. If anyone knows, Bronx is up, and that happened way downtown. But I
Well,
still
you have
needed
to
to know.
realize, George, we focus on what happened in New York City, but we also had the Pentagon that was
And
attacked that day,
yep,
and we also had the plane that was taken down in Pennsylvania.
Shanksville,
So,
Pennsylvania.
okay, so
Yeah,
we had three events going on at the same time, which is one of the reasons for the overloading of the circuits, because we didn't know. The question was, what's next?
yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
looking up in the sky like, well, what's next? Okay, because we
Right.
didn't know the extent or the magnitude or how much longer the country was going to be under attack.
Yeah.
But here is the other thing I want to point out, because I get this question quite often. Vicki, why should I, I'm going to pivot a little bit here, George, but why should I invest in the market? Every day I hear something going on about something going up or something going down. Why should I spend my time investing in the market? And you would be amazed at what I'm about to tell you, okay? As far as what has happened with market activity since that date. I want to give you a chance to I like to have you do this to guess what's going on. So remember, the market closed on September 11th because of what was happening.
2001. Okay.
2001. So I'm going to say, what do you think the S&P 500 reading was on September 10th, 2001?
Okay. All right. Let me think. I'm
S&P
gonna.
500. Which, as you recall, the S&P 500 is the 500 largest. Put that Google down. I'm not going to let you do that to me.
Okay. Okay.
S&P 500, which is representative of the indexes of the 500 largest corporations in the country. The index was at, I'm going to give it to you, George.
All right. Wait. Hold on. Wait a
1,000.
minute. Wait. What you gonna? No. What were you gonna say?
I said, I'm going to give you the number.
I was gonna say 8,500.
Okay. No, the S&P 500 on September 10th, 2001 was 1,092.
No.
Yes. Not the
What?
Dow, the S&P 500. The S&P 500,
Okay.
because I'm taking a broader market, the S&P 500 was 1,092. September 10th, 2024, the S&P 500 was 5,495, which meant that over that time period, we had 4,400 point increase. You could have put $1 in and just left it. And you had a 5,000-fold increase from the 1,000 to 5,495. Here is the key. We've talked about this before. Why does investing matter, or what things in investing matter? First of all, time. And we're talking about 2001, September 11th, how much we were, how fresh it is, but that was 23 years ago. Think about how fast that went by, though.
Yeah.
Okay, time just flew by, okay? Because when we look back and look at it at 23 years, we can't believe it. The other thing that we've always discussed is what's important about investing? Time and compounding. Having the time for the dollar that's invested in the market to compound and continue to compound upon compounding to create the returns that we've had over this time period. So for those of you who are younger,
Hmm.
who are listening today, and you're there at your jobs talking about whether I should or should not participate in my 401k, there is no doubt you should participate in your 401k, and you should consider utilizing the power of the growth of the US economy, which is primarily focused in two areas in your 401k, S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I'm going to point out the S&P 500 because most of you have an S&P 500 fund in your lineup within your 401k. Put the money in, continue to compound, continue to grow, continue to contribute, and look back 23 years, and you will probably see a similar result, not exactly, but a similar result, because the companies continue to grow year after year after year. Why is this so? Why am I harping on this today, George?
Why?
Okay, let me tell you why. Because while I was away, I had some time for reading.
Uh-huh.
And it gives me more and more time for reading. And I saw some things that were absolutely stunning for me. And that happens to be what has gone on with retirement savings. What's happening with retirement savings? I'm going to put something. Now, I know that our listeners can't see this, but many people watch this online also. And I want to share something with you here. Okay. This is a chart from T. Rowe Price, and was printed in The Street. That's a publication that they have that talks about what the benchmark should be based on age. Because I always get questions like, how much should I save, Vicki? And how much should I have saved at different points in time in my life? Benchmarks based on investors' age, how much of their salary should be saved based on their age, and what your ending balance should look like. So if you are 30 years old, right now, you should have at least a half a year's salary saved for retirement purposes going forward. If you are 40 years old, you should have between 1.5 and 2.5 years of salary saved for your retirement at this point in time. If you are 65 years old, I know some people that are there.
Yeah.
You should have 7.5 to 13.5 years of salary saved.
Today.
What does that really mean? Today. Okay?
Today.
So today, if you're 65 and you're earning $100,000 a year, you should have $750,000 sitting in your 401k account in order to be prepared for retirement. Between 750,000 and 1,300,500 saved for your retirement. The statistics now show that on average, most Americans have at 65, $265,000 saved. And because of the skewing of the upper income brackets in that number, when we get to the median number, we have $90,000 saved. That is so far below what you need to have in order to sustain your retirement through your longevity.
Right.
It's the longevity that's happened, okay? And that's a good thing. Living a long time, I think, is a pretty good thing. But right now, what we're seeing is that the gap space between what we need and what we have has gotten bigger. So our job, George.
Yes.
Our job is to continue to talk about this chart and continue to talk about strategies to use to catch up. So we're going to go back, as I said, we're going back to the beginning and dust off some of those earlier conversations and really start focusing on what do we need to do. So this chart, I'm going to, you can watch this again on YouTube, or even on our website. You can, if you want to see the chart in full, you can reach out to me at info@Brackens, fsn.com or call us at 315-930-4499, extension 102. info@brackensfsn.com. Like, share, and subscribe. But here is the message. Right now, today, we must fill this gap. George, I think at this point in time, I will say our plate is now full.
All right, Vicki, stop sharing that screen so we can see you. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She's America's money maven.